Are you sure this is the right place? Canis asks. As sure as I can be, Ailish replies, the irritation clear in his voice. It's not like our reluctant informant's direction were in any way precise, but based on what he did know, this is the most likely spot. Likely, Canis snorts. Likely isn't the term I want to hear when trying to hunt down a coven of Thamar-blasted necromancers in Corvus' vast subterranean warrens. Well, if you want better directions next time, maybe don't put a bullet through the head of a creepy hooded guy who's clearly in charge of a ragtag criminals we're apprehending, Ailish snaps. As the Arcanist and the gun mage bicker, Gardek sees a large group of rough-looking men around a corner from an ancillary passage some ways off. Guys. Gardek tries to break in, but the squabbling drowns out his voice. The trollkin's brow furrows deeply as he notices yet another group of similarly dressed men who appear to be lugging something heavy between them. A stained burlap sack big enough to carry a man in. Guys, Gardek shouts, wincing as he sees all the thugs turn in his direction. What? Both Ailish and Canis snap. I'm pretty sure this is the right place. Oh, so much for the element of surprise, Bastion says in a sigh. Welcome back to RP Gamepire, and right now we got a letter from Hellstrom asking for more aid. It seems like he's in a dire need, and hence we can see why. Welcome to Stench of Death, second chain quest, which is chapter 2, The Dead Eye. The undead are just not giving up, especially with their necromancer leader and the coven guild. The Coven Guild is trying to resurrect a wraith to pretty much increase their numbers in strength, and this is something we cannot allow to happen. So here is the layout within the Undercity labyrinth where the necromancer kind of locked himself inside, and we're trying to get to him before he does that, raising the wraith. But at the same time, we have to come here and at the same time open them pretty much, or should I say not at the same time, but more two characters have to unlock this without any foes there so we can open the door. Now, when the wraith does get raised and summoned, or reanimated I should say, then we get to pretty much attack it because he's going to make a run for it and he's going to try to exit from here. So the objective is to stop the necromancer from being able to raise the wraith or to summon a wraith, but in the end, if he does, to kill the wraith, or else whatever happens. In this case, it's going to be a semi-win or a total win, because either way this necro gotta go down, because it seems like we have other necromancers within our midst in this Undercity, and they have big plots. And let's help Hellstrom. Let's see what we can do, because the heroes are much mightier now. But let's not say the enemies and our foes are not any tougher, because all of the undead, for the exception of the thugs, are epic. So these are not easy pushovers, and the undead are deadly, as they say. So welcome to chapter 2. It's called Dead Eye, and pretty much once we get to reveal the wraith, we will show you what it can do. So now we have previously dealt with the, let me show, the epic warrior thralls, and they are pretty much tough, I might say. And what makes them super tough is their armor is 14. All right, aside from their special abilities that they have, like the backswing. So pretty much when they rush, they do 2 attacks with their melee weapon. It's a great sword, and it's a 9 power, and it's a 6 accuracy. Let's not forget also we got the Risen, And the Risen, they're not an easy pushover either. And they have an armor 13, but they have the Death Shroud also. And now also the Horde ability and the Resilient Flesh. So they're not easy to kill. So if you want to kill them, you got to kill them hard. Also, that's for the Epic Warrior Thrall. So now that we went over that, there's 2 side quests. There's one over here, and there's one on the other side, as you could see on the board. So there's 2 sides, right here and right there. I don't know if you could see my fingers, but that's pretty much where it is. Now, this is just a little well of black water, and pretty much it's rough terrain. You can shoot over it. It's not really an obstruction other than rough terrain. And so pretty much either ways, we're not going to try to go through there too much. So also what's important to know, the necromancer has initiative 1. And every turn that he takes action, it's not going to be a fun one. All right. So at some point, he will raise that wraith, and we will take action because he's going to open the gates, and that's going to be the end of him. So we got to be ready for that. Now let the heroes begin. And again, we're going to let Canis start because she has initiative 15. Ailesh will follow right after, and our amazing Bastion. And then, unforgettably so, our great leader per se for this group is Gardek Stonebrow. So my strategy will be kind of simple but kind of straightforward. I'm just gonna make a rush here, but first of all, I'm gonna try to get also the side quest. There's no reason for me this time to avoid the side quest. I'm strong enough, but my purpose here is to not take up too much time, as I have 10 rounds to complete this scenario. So my heroes, they will pretty much aggressively run through here and try to kind of create a blockade on the wraith when he gets released, because at some point I believe he will get released, and I have no issues with him getting released, but we got to put our focus on him. And the worst thing is also got to watch out so that we don't get swamped here, and that's the deadly issue as it is. So more importantly, we usually display the first round and the last round, so we're gonna do the first round. And also at some point when we come near death of the experience of the wraith, we will show how that scenario or that scene or that round takes place. And more importantly, then we're going to move into the last round, because this, again, I don't want to go on a rant, but this scenarios usually, are over 1 hour. All right. So, and at this point, I want to show you where the action is, and as best as I can. Also, I've got told that sometime when I angle the camera, that so you could see the characters from an angle, it's not that great. It focuses in and out for some reason. It's a new camera, but it doesn't work the best way I want it to. And you know what? Returning it is not an option at this point. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to get a new one. But by that time happens, probably not going to be until after the holidays. So let's do it our best. Let's try to enjoy it. And let's kind of stop the Deadeye Wraith, because it's called Deadeye because pretty much it's got 2 pistols. It shoots twice. Yes, that's it. Wait until you see it. It's freaking deadly. But I got to say, the figures are beautiful, or I should say more the miniatures, so not confused. So let the heroes begin. Let's not forget the necromancer and the wraith, when that does occur, in case I forget to mention it, move at initiative 1. Okay, there is a timer also to when the wraith gets released, and we will mention it when I will mention it when that comes to the point. But for now, let's begin the scenario, and let's take on the first event. Oh boy, environment. Enfeebling mists. All characters gain +1 defense against range attacks. At the end of every player's activation, that player must roll a die before drawing a feat card. On a roll of 5 or 6, the player does not... Oh boy. Okay. Okay. So we're going to put it here. So we know this environment is here, and until another environment comes to replace it, it is what it is. So against range attacks, well, that could be good because the wraith has range attacks. So we kind of gain a little bit better defense on that. And let's not forget that will make Canis defense 14, which is not bad. And also Alash and Bastion's defense will become 13, you know. But again, Gardek, useless as he is, he will become 12 against only range attacks. But at this point, I don't think they have much fear into that. The issue that comes into with undead is the resilient flesh, and that is the fact that you can't, hitting it, doing 1 damage won't be suffice to kill it or incapacitate it. You need to do 2, because otherwise it just gets knocked down and comes back alive. It's the clinging undead with the claw attack. Okay, now let's begin Canis's turn. And what Canis will do is, so the good thing about her is the fact that she ignores resilient flesh, so hence why she came along. And Kobe and especially Alash, the leaders, asked her to pretty much join in this scenario and mission because she seems to handle the undead very well. She has the ability called the rune shot, I should say, the heart stopper. And basically at this point, she's able to use 2 runes at the same time because she has the skill called expert runecraft. All right, so you can use an additional rule shot on each of your mage lock pistol attacks. So she's going to use that rune shot, but at the same time she's going to lose out on the death bolt, which is not relevant because you don't need the extra damage because there's no resilient flesh. So that means the damage goes right through and kind of nukes him. Don't forget, her weapon now is accuracy of 6 and power of 10. So now she's going to hold. So let's see what happens. But before we do that, let's see what spawns in this labyrinth. So it's 1 and 4. Whew. 1 and a 4. And 1 and a 4 is an epic warrior thrall. So and 4, 4, 4, 4. Whew. That's not fun. So that's kind of going to almost change who she's going to point this at. So that's kind of scary a little bit. But she has to pretty much now change her focus. Okay, so let's see what she will do. So because she's going to hold from there, okay, she will fire at this epic warrior thrall. And let's see what she rolls. It's a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 plus the 6 is well sufficient against a defense of 12. So she does well. And he wasn't able to survive that. Now obviously he can't get knocked down. He has a steady ability, but you're not trying to knock him down. He has resilient flesh. You're trying to kill him, and that resilient flesh will not protect him. So in this case, 1 vitality has sufficed to pretty much 1 damage to kill him off. And she will roll, and it's a power of 10, let's not forget. And because, well, she did death bolt and heartstopper, so either ways, if this attack if the attack hits, the target takes a 1 additional damage. So either ways, he's dead, man. He's a dead undead. And 6, 7, 8, 8 plus 10 is well suffice of an armor of 14. So we will remove it, and there is 1 XP on the board. And okay, all right, let's put that on. And now that we did that, she will contemplate what to do, because she held, and now, okay, let's see what the villains will do. And in this case, the villains, there is a death rattle. I gotta say, we gotta love these art. I don't know if you could see that. Focus in, focus in. There you go. Look at that art. You saw it momentarily. But anyways, this is Death Rattle. And what Death Rattle is, activate up to 4 warrior thralls. Alright, if they're not, there is 4 warrior thralls. So we're going to activate the 4 warrior thralls. Now what's going to happen is, those that you don't see will just charge, because now you're going to see them on board, because they're the warrior thralls and not risens. And that will be here. Okay, and that's 2. And there's 2 more to take action, and the 2 others are on the side, which you may not see right now, but they are advancing as quickly as they possibly can. So that makes it that turn, and those are the 4 warrior thralls. Okay, because it didn't say risen, it said activate up to 4 warrior thralls. That's my bad. So now that happened, it's going to be Ailesh's turn, and Ailech is gonna kind of keep it simple. He could go in and do an attack. So amazing. So what's gonna happen? Ailech is deciding and going, I sense something down there in the corridor. And he feels so right, but he can't reach it. Even if he charges, he can't reach it. So what Bastion is going to do, he's going to turn around and not eyeing away because there's so nearby a Risen and a Thrall, and looks at Ailech and he goes, I will do a Crusader's Call. And with this Crusader Call, what's going to happen is play this card. When a hero in your space walks or charges, that hero can move 1 additional space, and that's what's going to happen. So Bastion again shows why every heroic group needs one of him, a Morrowind battle chaplain. Okay, so he will charge all the way here, and when he does charge, he will reveal what's here, and he finds a treasure chest. Amazingly so, it asks attempt a perception 12 challenge. If you fail, leave this card on the map. All right. More importantly is if you succeed, you keep this card. You can use this card to search your feat card deck and discard pile. Choose any 1 card and add it into your hand. Shuffle your feat cards from the new deck. This card can be used once each chapter. Well, hey, that ain't special. Bone fetish. Freaking undead. Can't give me anything better. Alright, so I won't argue on that. Let's try a perception at 12, Ailech. Let's see how well. Your perception is 5. Phew. That's why you're the leader. Let's see what happens. Wow, 6 plus 6. 6 plus 6, look at that. 6 plus 6. That's Ailech, you're the leader, like I said. And that's unquestionably so a successful roll, and Ailech will take it. And if it serves him a purpose, he will use it at the right time. All right, to seek that special, guys, stop gibbering and let's get back to rolling. Okay. So, talk about getting back to it. I hear something coming, and pretty much we'll see what's that coming. It's 5 and 2. Oh boy, 5 and 2. Oh, it's just an ordinary sword dog. So let's see at gate 2, and that's over there. Okay, and now let's see what the villains will do, because pretty much Ailech has ended his turn. I don't think he wants to do or can do anything, because all he did was pick up a bone fetish. You got fetishes. So this one is Remote Rumble. Activate the villain farthest from you. And I gotta say, I love the art. Alright. Okay. For some reason this camera is just has issues. But at least it's not zooming in and out. Sorry, talking about that. So activate the one farthest from you. I know you can't see it, but I'm going to do that. And the farthest one from you right now is that one actually happened to be Sword Thug. And he's just gonna rush in as he tries to get to you. Now that we did that, it is Bastion, our holy chaplain, our holy might. Now the great thing about him is that he has that extractor pistol, if you remember that, from the Dead Sleep, the first chapter, the first chain part of the quest of this, 3-part quest. So the thing is, three-part chain. So the thing is, he could use that, and that's very strong against the undead. At the same time, he could just rush in which I rather he do, because he has daylight power and he will bring the daylight within this labyrinth, and it will allow him, while undead characters are in your space, they suffer -1 defense and armor, and a hero with one space of you can reroll a stat challenge. That's not important. Alright, so Bastion will come in and he will have the Blade of Radiance as always, because it's very, very good. So we're going to go in and we're going to charge in and we're going after this warrior thrall. And that's our thing. And Bastion just rushes in. And as he rushes in, by the way, he will hear, as he about to cling with his mace, he hears something, you know, stalking in the labyrinth. And it's a 3 and a 1. It's another warrior thrall, and amazingly so, it's going to spawn right here. Oh boy. Well, one can argue if I did the proper process, spawning first, then activation, and then villain action, maybe Bastion would have gone here, but that's not the case. Bastion will still have gone here because he has something called cleave, and he will use it if he successfully attacks right here. So let's focus on that attack right now. And as he charges in with the Blade of Radiance, he will roll 3 die. And don't forget, this warrior thrall's defense is less, so it's 11, by the way. And when I roll 3 dices, I don't need to boost anymore, because when I roll 3 dices, I don't have to take the lesser die out because it's against the undead. Bastion, oh, 6, 5, 4, I won't even bother counting. He is good as pancakes. Now, let's see what the damage will be. So 4, 5, and 2, that's 9, 10, 11, right? 11 plus the 7, so that's 18. And the warrior thralls is 18, so it's pretty much 3, because armor was 14, it goes down to 13, and there's at least 5 damage more than the armor itself, and then that pretty much nukes him. Oh, yes, well done to correction of error. And now we can finally get that second XP back in. All right, now that we did that, Bastion will use his cleaving power, and cleave says play this card to make 1 additional attack after one of your melee attacks incapacitates a villain. And that's what you did, my hero. That's what you did. And now that he did that, he will pretty much attack the Risen. And again, with the Blade of Radiance, it only makes sense. And don't forget, daylight still sprinkled all the way from the heavens. I don't know, it rips right through to the Undercity. Just imagine it. And at the same time, so don't forget, -1 defense, and that will bring his defense to 11 and his armor to 12. So 6, 6, 1. Okay, we'll say that's a major hit. And now that's 10, 14. I won't even bother. And that's, you've been smitten. All right. And that's another XP. And Bastion, that's a phenomenal turn. So now let's see what will the villains do, because the heroes are, I mean, we're not doing that great, because, I mean, taking those 2 out was very good, but we still have this bad guys, and these guys, they hit. All right. So let's see now what will be the villain action. And it's activate the villain closest to you. Okay, that's not fun. And I gotta show the art again. I don't know if you can see it. I know the camera can be annoying, but here, let's see. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Look at that beauty. All right. So now that you saw that, activate the villain closest to you. Make sure you read it properly or remember it properly. So it will be this one, because that is the villain closest to you. And what he will do, this is going to be hurtful. He's going to charge in. And now don't forget, what makes them so strong is the fact backswing. So when the character follows the rush tactic, and that's what he's going to do, because he couldn't do melee where he stands, he did the rush tactic. It makes 2 attacks with its melee weapon. It's a 6 and 9 weapon. So the first thing is, let's see, and don't forget, Bastion's defense is just 12. All right. So this is not fun, and it's about to swing at you. And pretty much you could use the Force of Faith. Play this card during any hero's activation to place a villain in your space in a connected space. All right. And this one just came, and I don't want to say it's the same thing because at the same time he just rushed in. But before that can happen, we have to see if Bastion is able to actually take another feat card. Don't forget, the current event is Enfeebling Mist. So first of all characters gain +1 defense against range attacks, but more importantly is the fact that you got to roll a 5 or 6. You know, he does not draw a feat card. So let's see that. 5. Talk too soon. Okay, rolling high, that's a good thing and a bad thing, but at the same time, well, he doesn't get a feat card. So you know what? He will do what he's doing right now in that environment. We got to get rid of that environment somehow, in what way we can, because it is obviously disastrous. So now let's see what will that. So this is 3 + 1. 3 + 1 is 4. 4 plus the accuracy of 6 is 10, and he misses on his first attack. Whew. Oof. 11. 11 plus 6 is well sufficient of a defense of 12. So he hits you. Now he has a boosted attack. So let's see what he does. So that's 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. And his armor is only 15. So he will do 1 damage. So Bastion will take 1 damage on this round. And the reason why Bastion was the only one to roll for the feat, because he's the only one that used feats. He actually used 2, and up to now, if you notice. So the thing is, the others haven't used their featful abilities, and let's see how things advance, because now it's Gardek's turn, and Gardek is the one that everybody should fear because he puts the finishing touch to everything. So what Gardek will do is first roll to see who wanders in, and it's a 1 and a 4. Oh boy, it seems like this ones are just keep coming, and it's going to be actually another. Whew, this is not fun. There's 2 of them here. So, and Gardek will decide to go actually rush in there. So that's the incredible thing, and he's going to go there alone, but he doesn't care, and he's going to rush in, and they get pushed back because they're kind of scared of what's coming their way, and Gardek even shook the walls, and he's going to crush him with the axe and bash him with the shield. So now that he rushed in, don't forget he has mighty, so you get an additional dice on the melee, and their defense is, don't forget, is 12. So let's roll for the axe and see what happens. And that's 6 plus 5 plus the 6 from the accuracy of the axe is well enough to hit this one. Okay, and now let's see for the damage. Don't forget, when you rush in, charge in, you only get boosted on one of the attacks, not both of the attacks. So 6, 10, 14 plus the 9, it's an overkill. You can pretty much say more than 5, and that will kill him off, and that will give another XP, and that's, again, he is freaking amazing as it is, as always. And now he's going to push right through. But before he's going to do that, he's going to use his shield. And his shield now, worry is a concern. So what he's going to do is, because the accuracy of the shield is 6 also, he's going to roll for that. And he's going to boost the damage for this. Ooh, I got so many dice going on there. So 6, wow, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, and the devil in his eyes. He got snake eyes. So he pretty much hits that. But now he's going to boost. So he's going to use 1 feat card to boost this damage roll. The reason why is because the shield is only power 6. All right, so ain't that fancy against the undead. Wow. Okay, that was freaking terrible. 5, 6, 7. 7 plus 6 is just 13, and that's not enough. The armor was 14, and pretty much well, I guess Gardek so mightily went in there that he pretty much didn't take notice that the fact this warrior is well armored. So now that he did that, that ends his turn, and now the villains will activate again, and they're not the friendly type. Activate up to 2 undead villains closest to you, so that doesn't matter if it's warrior or risen, so 2 of them, and the 2 closest to him are pretty much the very 2 that he hates the most, but luckily they don't charge in, so they just fight in. So this one is going to first pick a fight on Gardek, and he's going to try to hit Gardek right now. There shouldn't be an issue. So let's see what happens. And that's 5-4, that's a 9. 9 plus 6 is well sufficient against a defense of 11. Now let's see for damage. And don't forget, they have a 9 power. So 9 plus 9 is 18. And that will do, this suffice to, wait, 19. Yes. No, wait a minute. That was 9 plus 9 is 18. 18, let's see. He has 2 armor from there, this. No. He held off. I believe that was 18. I took it off too quickly, but I believe that was 18. And Gardek stood tall. Because Gardek does have 18, by the way, armor. But now what he has is also vengeance. Play this card to make 1 melee attack against a villain that hit you with a melee attack after the attack is resolved. Okay, I'm going to do that. It's punk. It's going to be your lucky day. And also you gain a boosted attack roll when you use a vengeance feat card. So attack roll, so that means your first. So let's see what happens. And that's 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 plus 6 is well suffice against a defense of 12. Now we're going to see if he's able to do any damage. And you know what? I'm going to use my last feat card, okay, of Gardek to boost this attack also. And actually, I don't need to, because he has mighty. You gain an additional die on a melee damage rolls. So take that feat card back. Relax. So let's see what happens. Wow, 6, 6, 5 plus the 9 of the axe. You got a thrashing. Oh, you're so freaking well. You are so freaking well. And that will give another XP. And by the way, they give you 2 XP, not 1 XP. So that is pretty much a mistake on my part. The reason why they give you 2 XP, if you do 2 damage in 1 slash, you get 2 XP, because usually they take kind of 2 damage to 2 damage, separate damage to pretty much kill. Otherwise, they're not going to be killable, because they have the steady ability, which you cannot knock down. So that means their resilient flesh is irrelevant because they cannot be knocked down. And resilient flesh says you have to do greater than 1 damage in order to nuke him. So pretty much doing 2 damage, 2 XP. Well done. Well done. Well done. Gardek, I told you. He's the baddest of them all. But play this card, instead of the boost part, I'm going to do the, I play this card after you incapacitate a villain with a melee attack to move 1 space, and I'm going to do that. And actually, Gardek will use all his feat cards. I hope he doesn't regret it. And he's going to just move back here. Okay, and I see him, I'm coming for him. And now that he did that, more importantly, he's going to roll to see if he gets any feat cards, because the environment says no. And he rolled a 4, and that 4 says he does, so that's a good thing. So, and this one says, ooh, he has hoof it and backswing. Not bad, not bad. So that pretty much ends Gardek's round, and this ends round 1. Let's go to the next round now. Ooh, and that makes it pretty much the 8th XP or on the clock tile. So pretty much the gates have been opened, and now the wraith is let loose as he's been reanimated, or I should say summoned, by the necromancer. So now the necromancer can focus on the heroes, as the wraith focuses on pretty much escaping this labyrinth and this Undercity corner. Now catacombs. More important, I have to say that the wraith will attack us, but he will not try to make contact with us, because his purpose is to come here and to escape. Now, for whatever reasons that we don't know. So he will move one tile at a time. As it says, the odd thing about this scenario, which kind of doesn't make kind of sense, well, it says the pistol wraith is a significant villain and a boss, no problem. But it activates at initiative 1. Alright, so it activates at initiative 1, which is no problem. That's after Gardek, and that's with the necromancer at the same time. But when the pistol wraith activates, it moves one space toward the passageway 3-4. And if that's the case, there's not enough even events to carry through until then. Now, there might be some villain cards that might make it move, but again, it's more than 10 spaces to get there. So that is a little confusing. And every time, and then makes a range attack if it's possible, obviously. If the pistol wraith begins the activation in space where 3-4, well, and there's no hero there, then it escapes, remove the pistol from the board. But pretty much, I just don't see it unless the heroes fail to go chase it and we run out of events and we're not able to kill the necro, because again, the necro pretty much is the purpose here. So if we kill the necro and the wraith is still on the board, the wraith has to be kind of killed, because it's the option is you win if you, the good win is you kill the necro and the wraith, well done. Or you just kill the necro and the wraith has escaped. But in this case scenario, I just don't see how it really would be able to escape. So there's no clear rules online, and I think Privateer Press hasn't really responded in a sense of how this should go about, and they're a formidable company, so I'm not saying that in any sense of bashing them. So it's not clear, but it does say that it moves only one space. So I'm going to make it a little, how can I say this, not house rule, but more of a clarification of what they meant was that if it's possible to attack one of the heroes, it will move one space forward and shoot with its 2 pistols. Otherwise, it will rush and it will go in, you know, pretty much and try to get to that point. And the heroes will have to decide how to split themselves, as there's only like pretty much 4 rounds left to pretty much finish this off, which I think they will be able to, even though the foes are epic. So more importantly, the wraith will pretty much rush in. So let's start. Oof, that was deadly. That was deadly. Luckily, the wraith, as it finally made its first move, whew, doesn't get to attack because he rushed in, but the heroes took it bad, especially Gardek. He got wounded bad. He has like 3 wounds on him. Elish family has a wound. Luckily, Canis and Bastion healed themselves, but again, that was a very, very, very tough round, I would say. But they survived. They pushed through. They're still kind of being a little bit hunted down, as they say. But hey, we're ready here. And more importantly, let's see what the heroes will do this new round. And hopefully this round is a little bit more merciful than the last one, or at least the previous ones. So I think the heroes put all their attention on them right now, because now they're like sitting ducks over there, in my opinion, unless somehow the villains really approach us, because we're getting swamped. So if we could take them out, we could put an end to whatever's happening in the catacombs. They will just crumble because their very master is dead, and more importantly, he will not be able to escape. So but the heroes have to put focus on him, because he can pretty much walk here. This is rough terrain. It's going to cause problems for the heroes to catch up to him after, if he manages to kind of escape. So let's focus on this and put all our efforts into pretty much eliminating. Now, the good thing is they only move, again, like mentioned before, they only move after Gardek. So that means after all the heroes have done their turn. So that's good. So the advantage we have is Bastion is really good against the undead, and we're going to focus all our focus on the wraith first. The necro will come right after. He has 8 HP, and you know what? We'll try to hold off against him. So let's see what event this round will take. Ba-bum, bum, bum. Oh. Silence is the best thing after the brutality that I had up to now. But let's remove this so we know red is the color of priority. Bloody red, because that's what it's been up to now. But again, don't wander around without Bastion. He could tell you himself. It's dangerous out there. But more importantly, it's gonna get safe with him out there. So let's get this round started, and it starts with Canis. But before Canis goes, as we all know, we roll to see what formidable, ugly-looking villain will appear. 1 and 3. Shoot me. All right. And there you go. See you, buddy. All right. Let's focus on this. Canis is like looking and saying, okay. Get the show on the road. Let's see what she's going to do. Don't forget, her mage lock has an accuracy of 6 now, not 5, and her power is 10. Its power is 10 instead of 8. So let's see what she will decide to do. Don't forget, she can use 2 rune shots instead of the usual 1. Okay. So she's looking, she's moving, and let's see what she's going to do. Well, she's just turning around. She goes, "Move, Aylash, let me take this shot." And she's looking at the wraith, and the wraith is like, and the necro is like, oh. And Canis is with her mad red head and piercing eyes. She will unleash a boosted attack roll, and let's see how this transpires right now. And don't forget Aylash being there. He will, Aylash, use the empowered weapon. Play this card to give 1 hero in your space +1 to attack and damage rolls until your next turn. So, Aylash is the man. Alright, so now that Aylash did that, he will, more importantly, well, let's see, allow Canis to pretty much fire away. So let's see what Canis will do at this point. And it is in a boosted attack roll. So it's 6, 10. It's good that she did that. That's 10. That's 12. 12 plus 6 is well sufficient for a 14 defense. That's a close one, little buddy. Now, more importantly, will be the damage roll. And she gets, don't forget, because she hit, she's already warranted 1 damage on him for the death bolt. Because if this attack hits, the target takes 1 additional damage. Okay, so, well, if no damage, then it takes still 1 damage. So, brutal is the attack gains a boosted damage roll. Alright, and don't forget there's a +1 here. Okay, so let's see. Ooh, this is terrible. 3, 5, 6, and 6 plus 10 is pretty much, well, against the 12, it's 17 actually. And that's enough 5, because don't forget the empowered by Aylash gives it +1. So this is a 5, 6, 7. 7 plus 10, because don't forget her power for her mage lock is 10. That's 17. The defense, I should say, the armor of the pistol wraith is 12. So he takes 3 damage, or she takes 3 damage in this case. And this wraith has just 1 HP. And this kind of puts it in a very formidable way. Now let's see if she wants to do anything more. So, as luck as it is, and luck plays a big role in this amazing world, aside from dice rolls, it's their power, Okay, Aylash comes on and says, "I hereby use the flashing blade on you, and this will allow you to 1 hero in your space to immediately make an attack with one of his weapons," or her weapons, buddy. Okay, and she will fire away. But before she does that, she will do a braced shot and point blank. What those two, that she's going to be pretty much using all of her, pretty much feat cards. Actually, no, you know what? She doesn't need to do a point blank, but she will use braced shots, which allow her to aim even so play this card to aim even if you moved. So she's going to use that to pretty much, boost this. And because she's standing, it's still insurance. She can fire away because she did hold this turn. So let's see. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 6 is 15. Whew. Against a defense of 14, it holds against that epic pistol. Now, more importantly, she's going to roll for damage. And at this point, I don't think she needs to boost, but she's not rolling the greatest. So that's 8, 9, 10. 10 plus 10 is 20. Oh, this pistolier is dead. All right, the wraith. Oh, sad, sad, sad. I think the necro is very angry. And he probably is going to come at us with wrathful eyes. But Candace is staring it down. Even the undead eyes. Even though kind of eerie kind of feeling. Kind of staring it down. But if they kill the wraith. Wow, right out of the gate. So, this is formidable. It only means how epic the heroes are. But, in all fair play, the undead are epic too. Aside from the thugs. So, brilliantly so. She played it well. Ailish did play a big factor. He helped. Luckily, he has 4 feat cards. He has used 2 out of the 4. And now we will see what it is that the villains do in this turn. Or should I say at her turn right after. Because she hears movement from her actions. Activate the villain farthest from you. Reshuffle the villain action deck. I just reshuffled it recently. So I'll say farthest from you. It will be this one. And so the farthest one to activate is going to be this one. And that's what it is. Thank you very, very much. And that pretty much ends. And now it's Ailish's turn. And Ailish was just formidable. And he will just focus on the necro. Because at this point, there's no reason to put your focus on anything else. And let's make it a formidable end. Yes, we're going to take some damage, but you kill the master and you pretty much know what happens to the troops. So let's take him down. So what he will do against the necro, and I will cast the arcane strike against you. And Candace moves aside, but still trying to keep the mage lock on the necro in case any rash movement occurs. And don't forget, he's a combat caster, Ailish, and he gains an additional die on a spell attack rolls and discard the lowest die on each roll. So now, more importantly, is also he's a fast caster, so he will be able to, once during his turn, to recast that spell, even though he just did that one action to cast that spell. So because he's going to do that, to be an attack or spell, so he's boosted attack anyway. So what he's going to do is going to use this feat card to pretty much boost. He's going to boost his, because the necro is pretty much good on defense, 13 and 14 of armor. So he's going to boost both pretty much. He's going to boost the attack and the damage. So let's see what happens in this case. Alright, that uses up all these feat cards, by the way. And more importantly, we forgot to give a feat card back to our amazing Candace. So let's see what he does in the roll against the necro. So that's 6 plus 6 plus 5. I won't even count. He hits the necro. Alright. And now the necro, don't forget, he's dangerous because once he attacks, he can regain some of his mana, health, vitality, and more importantly, make sure he has no foe at his side. And now that he's alone and the wraith was kind of taken out quickly, he's kind of messed up. So, and now for the damage roll. Wow, 6, 5, 5, and plus the 9 for the power of that spell. That is more than enough to pretty much take out the necro. And the necro will take 2 damage, not take him out, but damage him well. So that's 2 damage on the necro. All right. Okay, that was very, very well done. And now, more importantly, I did discard a feat card. and that feat card was to pretty much boost the damage. Oh, but there was I used it. Okay, so I used both of the feat cards basically already, and that's kind of wrong of me, but whatever. It was a little mistake because he could have been a fast caster and recast it and done a little bit more damage, but he would have been at risk of losing. So now that he did that, let's see what the villain will do at this case. And the villain will activate the villain closest to you. And we will see which one it is because it's Aylesh's turn. And I would say, either one is kind of dandy. And I would say make an issue. The Risen will kind of move in. And pretty much he will attack Aylesh. Oh, get him, kill him. Alright. Yeah, it's far from being able to be killed, but we won't get into that. Alright. So, now that Aylesh has already a wound, let's see what happens. He has a 13 defense, 14 armor. And he just rushed in this Risen. And let's roll. It's a 9. 9 plus the 4 is 13. And that's well enough. You need only equal or greater. So now let's roll for the damage. And that's the scary part with the Risens. Because they have 8, no different. And they have Death Shroud. This character gains +2 armor while in 2 spaces away from friendly necromancer. Oh boy. He's going to be tough to kill. 662. I won't even bother. And that's not good because he will just take 2 damage right now. Aylesh. Alright. Because that was an overhit of a 14 armor. Okay. Now that that was done, okay, that puts Bastion's turn. Ooh. Epic Bastion. Our great one. Let's see. 5 and 2. 5 and 2. Ooh. That's not good. Okay. 5 and 2. Ta-da! Master summoned me. Alright, that's not good. We have an epic warrior thrall that just appeared there, by the way. And okay, it's getting claustrophobic here. The undead is like swirling everywhere. Okay, Bastion, put an end to this misery. Alright. He's going to charge right in. But before he's going to do that, so what only makes sense, he charges in with his holy might. Let's not forget his blade of radiance, but more importantly, he has daylight power and he shines the light right through the catacombs and right into the Undercity, right at that necromancer. And don't forget now, he has -1 defense and -1 armor, the necromancer, so it kind of makes it a little easier to hit him. And don't forget, with the blade of radiance, he rolls extra. So he's going to take his 3 mighty dices, or should I say mighty mace, and that's 5, 6, 3, and it's a hit. All right, it's a mighty hit. Now he's gonna roll for damage. Ooh, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 plus 8 is 15. It's well sufficient to do 1 damage. Whew. I was hoping for a little bit more mightier damage there, but that, I guess, didn't happen. Oh well, that will be so, and now let's see. What will the villains do? Because pretty much at this point, it was kind of shaky. He didn't do the greatest of it all, but he did 1 damage, which is well sufficient. Wow, what a story, Bastion. I'm just shocked, but at least, you know what? Now permanently, as long as Bastion is there, that defense and armor is -1, so it makes it easier to target, to hit. And you know what? Who's coming next? It's Gardek Stonebrow, or Stonebro. So let's see what is the villain's action, what the villains will do at this point. Oh boy. Activate up to 4 undead villains. And okay, there is, don't worry about that. Okay, activate up to 4. So we're gonna go from outside, inside. So the first one, the second one, the third one, okay, and whew, I say the fourth one will come and attack Canis. All right, so let's see. Because that, and the reason is, you might argue, oh, why didn't you do this once? Because you want to bring everybody in as soon as possible, and this is gonna probably go, I think, more than a round, unless Gardek really, well, he hasn't stopped amazing us as a leader, Elish. But Elish was good also, let's give credit there. But either ways, this Risen will attack Canis right now, and let's see what it will do. And also, if you want to argue on the activation of villains, the red is the priority, and hence why those did it. For the exception of that foe, he's right there. So let's see, he's going to attack Canis, and Canis has a defense of 13. And you know what? She's going to do something called play this card to gain +2 defense, untouchable. She doesn't want stinking claws on her. Alright, so let's see what's going to happen. 6 is 12, 12 plus 4. Okay, that's 12, but it's more sufficient because her defense is only 15. Alright, so it's by 1. Whew. Talk about amazing rolls. I'm scared to see what will be the damage rolls. Okay, so let's see now that the damage is being rolled. And her armor, don't forget, is 12. 4, 2, 6 plus the 8. Alright, 6 plus the 8 is more sufficient. She takes 1 damage. More importantly, I want to also say is that she takes the damage, but I want to say something, and that is, he's going to be tough to kill. The Necro, as long as he existed, he has 15 armor. He has close to 15 armor. He has actually 15 armor. Let's forget about that. He has 15 armor, so that's really tough. This one also has 15 armor, so that's a very powerful ability, and the Necro is a super nuisance, but that's why we're focusing on him. So now let's see what new foe comes that are missed. And that's 3 and 1. Why was only 1? Oh, why? Alright, so that will be, alright, but not bad. It's like on the distant side. I don't care for much for it. It's not going to be as a big a threat. So now, let's see what Gardek will do. So Gardek will just charge. More Bastion. Oh, what a push. He just like goes all the way there. And now right into the face of Necro, who kind of trembles almost. Even though it's undead, he shouldn't even feel fear. But seeing the big trollkin just run in with his shield, you know, like that, he's going to take a swing right in with his axe. So, because he charged in right there, he's going to also use his great strength mighty, which gives him an additional die on only damage rolls. Now, more importantly, he's also going to he's going to use the ability called Mighty Blow. Play this card before you make a melee attack. If the attack hits, the target gets an additional damage. Oh boy, eh? It's your lucky day, Necro. So that's 5, 8 plus 6. Don't forget, it has a -1 to its defense, which is 12. It's well sufficient to pretty much hit it. So now that it hit, it's guaranteed and warranted a damage more. And now the attack is boosted. Oh boy, it's your lucky day. Okay, and the reason why that is because of mighty. So let's see. So 6, 7, 8 plus the 9 of the axe power. So 8 plus 9, that's 17. Okay, and let's see, 17 against a Necro, which is armor pretty much 13. 17, it's not enough. It's not 5 or greater, and pretty much that's only sufficient for the 2 damage because of mighty, right? So that brings it down to pretty much 5 vitality. So he has 3 vitality left. And don't forget, Gardek attacks twice. He has the shield bash now. He swung with his axe, and now he's swinging with his shield. So, for the shield, it's still a 6 accuracy. And don't forget, the Necro's feels vulnerable with Bastion being there, and that's 6, 11, 11 plus the 6 from the shield bashing in his face. That's well sufficient to hit the defense of 12 of the Necro. So now we're going to do the attack. And don't forget, it's a mighty attack. You get an additional die on melee damage rolls. So without question, even with the shield bash, this is what's going to happen. So, ooh, that's not the greatest, but it works. 9 plus 6, because the shield power is 6 compared to the 9 of the axe. And that is pretty much 9. 9 plus 6 is 15 against the armor of 13. And that's another hit. Ooh, do you feel the pressure now, little ugly looking Skelly? All right, but Bastion has something called backswing, and it says play this card during your turn to make an attack with one of your weapons. What do you think, buddy? What do you think I'm gonna do? Let's do it. Okay, and he's gonna swing with his axe. Okay, and don't forget, as I mentioned, the defense is lesser than what it is. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 6 is well sufficient, 14, because the defense is 12. 8 strikes. Now, he has a boosted damage roll, right, because of Mighty, and I'm going to make an insurance to pretty much make sure it's dead. And the last feat card is the boost, and we're going to boost our amazing 4 dice power. And let's see what he will do. Oof, not the greatest rolls. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 11. 11 plus 9 is well sufficient against an armor of 13. It destroys the Necro. Oh, what a hit. What a hit. Well done. What a finale. This scenario comes to an end with Deadeye getting the bullseye from Canis, and pretty much it is a total victory where the party was able to incapacitate the necromancer and the pistol wraith. He does not escape the clutches of the heroes, and what valiant heroes who are really mighty. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and support Gardek. There it is, Bastion points toward a suddenly solidifying specter. As the ghostly form coalesces and it raises a pistol, a flash of green fire issues from the barrel. Get down, Gardek shouts as he pushes his way in front of Ailish. The trollkin grunts as the heavy impact of an all-too-real bullet strikes his shield with supernatural force. As he lowers his guard, Gardek sees the pistol wraith become ethereal once more and begin to float away. This ends now, Canis says, runes blazing about the barrel of her bagelok as she takes aim at the incorporeal form of a fleeing pistol wraith. With a squeeze of the trigger, blue-white arcane fire erupts from the weapon, and her magically empowered rune bullet streaks toward the wraith and explodes in a flash of brilliant light. With a deathly shriek, and wraith spins around, a hole blasted through its ghostly torso. Before it can raise its own pistol, another bolt of magical energy, from Ailish this time, strikes it so powerfully that the wraith perishes in a burst of necromantic energy. Canis nods at Ailish. Nice shot. You too, Ailish replies, begrudgingly. If you two are done, give us a hand, please. Bastion says with a grunt, dragging a scrawny form of one of the black-robed cult members behind him. Gardek's heavy iron manacles look comical snapped around the cultist's skeletal hand. I think Hellstrom would like to have a word with this sewer rat about what he and his friends have been up to down here.